Hey, Pretty Girl Club. So I have a question. Who are mixed women supposed to date? Because I see Tia and Tamara both being dragged for their marriages. And it's like, okay, Tia, she married that black guy, Corey, and it was a hypogamous marriage. And then people were shaming her. I saw black women and men who support the red pill space shaming her and demonizing her. Meanwhile, there are rumors that Tia and her ex-husband are back together. I don't see those same people coming back and celebrating Tia. I don't see those same people coming back and saying, hey, Tia, you did a wonderful job. Good on you for having some self-awareness. No, I don't see those same people saying that. So according to the black community, Tia, she just wanted to get out and explore her options, and she's a modern woman, and she's acting like a thought, and her brain has been corrupted. And she just has this westernized mindset where she wants to go out and be a 304. Okay, that's nothing new. I see them say that all the time. But now Tamara, who is still married to her husband, and her husband happens to be white. Her husband is a divester's dream. Now you've got black women and men turning around and saying, oh, Tamara's husband is racist and Tamara is a white supremacist. She is an internalized white supremacist because she is a trad wife to this white man who supports Trump. Do you know how many black women in the divestment space not only openly support Trump? If you don't believe me, please go and watch their channels and you'll hear them talk about it. Not only do a lot of them openly support Trump, but a lot of those women would love to have a Nepo baby as their husband, like this guy that Tamara is married to. So do you see the extreme hypocrisy? It doesn't matter who mixed race women have a relationship with, no matter what, people will always find a way to say that you're wrong. If you are the quote unquote preference, people will always find a way to say that your relationship is trash, or to say that your relationship is not that great, or that you're somehow doing something wrong. So my question for Black YouTube is, who are Tia and Tamara supposed to date? Who are they supposed to marry? Who are they supposed to be with? Because there's a pattern in the Black community where people are constantly calling out your wrongs. They're constantly calling out whatever they think your flaws are. They're constantly nitpicking you. And they're using isms and social justice to try to make you out to be the bad guy. So with Tamara, they're using classism. So instead of colorism, texturism, or featureism, now you got the Black community using classism against them, saying that they're classist. Meanwhile, do you know how many hundreds of thousands of Black people are flocking out of their third world countries that they live in so they can come to the United States, which is a wealthy, extremely classist nation? The United States of America is incredibly classist, yet you've got plenty of Black people from all over the world flocking to be in this classist-ass country. Not to mention the fact that there are tens of thousands of Black women graduating college every single day. Aren't they the most educated demographic? Okay, so they're doing that so that they can enhance their class. They're trying to increase their socioeconomic status. So is that not a form of classism right there? So you don't recognize the classism when it comes to the United States of America, when it comes to the entire education system, when it comes to the hundreds of thousands of Black people that leave Black neighborhoods and they abandon supporting Black businesses so they can support quote-unquote white businesses that have cheaper products to help them save money. Okay, that's a form of classism. So you can't see all of the thousands of other examples of classism, but suddenly, with this random biracial woman, Tamara Mori, you got mad at her for making a video about a comb, and now suddenly Tamara Mori is a white supremacist, and her husband is a Trump supporter and a classist. Where was all this smoke for this white man when she first got married to him? She's been married to him for a while. So I didn't see the smoke back then. In fact, there's a whole movement of women online who are dying to get around these types of white men. I see the swirling movement is a big thing on TikTok. They've got all kinds of Black women talking about pasta and lobster and how they don't want to go to the Cheesecake Factory. And a lot of women are making videos about multiculturalism. So essentially how to attract a non-Black man. And then they're telling us over in the exotical space that we're not exotic because we're quote unquote too Black. So you literally have an entire class of millions of Black people pedestalizing whiteness behind closed doors. But then suddenly when a random biracial woman makes a video about a comb, you get mad about the comb, and then you also want to suddenly call out that her and her husband are both racist and white supremacists. And then I see people online saying, oh, Tamara, just stay over there with the white side. Don't come back over here to the Black side. You don't get to control how mixed race people navigate through society. Tamara can do whatever the fuck she wants. If she wants to start a Black, and it's so hilarious because you guys literally just got mad at Tamara a couple of days ago because you said that when she made the video about the combs, that she wasn't trying to connect with black people. She made that for her white audience. So black women literally just got mad at her because she didn't make a tutorial that was focused on black women. And now you've got people on TikTok saying, oh, well, Tamara, fuck you. Stay over on the white side and don't try to come back over here to the black side because your husband's racist and classist and disgusting. So do you see how the black community is constantly throwing multiracial people in and out of blackness? So they threw Tamara out of blackness, and then they're trying to pull Cardi B, who is another multiracial woman, they're trying to pull Cardi B back into blackness by begging her to start a hair care line for them. So do you see what I mean about this mentally ill way that the black community treats you when you are considered to be ambiguous, whether it's racially ambiguous, whether your phenotype makes you ambiguous, or you have any sort of preference? Because I see people including Tia and Tamara in the preference conversation, and they're referring to them as preferences. So this is proof that no matter what you do as a quote-unquote preference black or mixed race woman, you will be scrutinized in the black community. If you marry a man who's black, you're going to be scrutinized, just like Tia Mowry. If you marry a man who's white, you're going to be scrutinized, just like Tamara. And then they never give you an example of who the proper man is that you're supposed to be with. Have you ever noticed that? Even the women that have the hypergamy channels and all that, a lot of those women, they never bring on a man or name names like, hey, this guy is a good example of the type of man you should be with. In fact, whenever they do name names, the only name I've ever heard them mention is Russell Wilson, who is a multiracial man. So isn't that interesting? So you're talking down on multiracial women as a culture, but then behind closed doors, you're talking about how you should try to get with white men and multiracial men and get in these hypergamous marriages. Do you see the mental illness? Do you see the mental gymnastics? Do you see how a lot of people, they will try to demonize or villainize you, but deep down inside, they want the lifestyle that you have? Do you know how many black women were complaining about not getting brand deals in the hair industry? You know how they said that the women with the looser hair textures took over the natural hair movement and hijacked the natural hair movement? I believe that some of that bitterness is still lingering, because why would you get mad at Tamara for making hair tutorials? If Tamara had 4C hair and she was using that pick comb, do you think that the reaction would still be the same? And I think it's hilarious because they'll say that multiracial women hijack the hair movement, but you're getting mad at Tamara for not making hair videos geared towards black women, and then you're begging Cardi B to create a hair care line. But then you want to turn around later on and say mixed race women or light-skinned women hijacked the natural hair movement. So do you see how they will pedestalize you? They'll set you up to put you on a pedestal. But then once they notice that, you're getting a little too cocky, you're starting to act a little bit too white. Tamara, you're acting a little bit too privileged by marrying this white man that came from generational wealth, who happens to disagree with our political beliefs as woke, social justice, liberal black women. Okay, so that's a little bit too white for me. So now I'm going to try to do everything in my power to rip you apart and to make sure that you don't have any pedestal left. And also for the talking point that people are giving where they're like, oh, we'll just stay over there with the white people then. I thought that you guys said that our white sides won't accept us. So which one is it? You guys tell mixed race black women all the time, your white side won't accept you, the Asians won't accept you, the Latinos won't accept you, but now you're saying, oh, stay over there on the white side. Well, how could Tamara stay on the white side if you guys say as a collective that the white side doesn't accept mixed race women? Which one is it? So do you see how they can't even stick to one talking point? They will move the goalpost and hide behind isms. This time they're hiding behind classism. And they're doing that so they can simply bash and tear down Tamara Mowry. They're doing it so they can bash and tear down a woman that they feel is a little too privileged and out of touch. In fact, I heard people saying that about Tamara. They're like, oh, she's out of touch, or like, she's not relatable to blackness. Well, why are you trying to relate to a woman that's half white? If you yourself are an unambiguous dark-skinned black woman and you have a different experience according to your own talking points, then why would you even be mad if Tamara can't relate to you? Oh, and by the way, what does it mean to relate to blackness? Because you guys got mad that Tamara didn't, I guess, stand up for like people with food stamps. Why are you assuming that the people on food stamps are black? And for the people saying, oh, his comments were so disgusting. Okay, so they're saying that his comments were disgusting because he said, he essentially said that people on food stamps, he wishes that they could only buy healthy food as opposed to like trading in the food stamps for cash and then buying cigarettes and liquor. Okay, I understand how people could feel like that's an inflammatory comment, but guess what? Different people in this world have different beliefs. And this is how I know that a lot of monocultural people in the African American community, they do not support diversity. They don't. They don't support diversity because the definition of diversity means that you are around people with different opinions than you, different political beliefs than you, they're a different race than you, different phenotype than you, and a different privilege experience than what you have. That is literally the definition of diversity. So by saying that somebody is acting white, or, you know, they've gone fully over to the white side, or they're just a white man's whore, they're essentially a bedwench. So by saying stuff like that, you're literally equating blackness to slavery and whiteness to being the master. You're equating blackness to being at the bottom because you assumed that by him talking about food stamps that he's talking about black people. You don't support diversity because you don't support anyone who leans more conservative, which Tamara, she probably does lean more conservative because people are saying that her husband worked for Fox News and, you know, that they're more so like Republicans. Okay, so then you don't like diversity then because you only want people who are liberals. You want people who put dark-skinned black women first. You want people who put Democrats first, or, you know, whatever your beliefs are. So don't try to come onto the Exotical channels and try to tell us that you guys are so open-minded and you support diversity and we should fight for diversity. No, you just want to fight for your particular beliefs. And anyone who doesn't align with that, you're going to try to attack them. And I've noticed that black women and black men have literally been teaming up so they can gang up on Tia and Tamara. So first it happened with Tia because her and her husband got a divorce. And now it's happening with Tamara because she's staying married. And it's like, okay, how would you guys react if Tamara got a divorce from her white husband tomorrow? You guys would be shaming her. You guys would be saying, I told you so. See, the white man, he didn't really prefer you like you thought he did. You're still an N-word, Tamara. Racist white people still see you as just black. So no matter what Tamara does in her marriage, she's still going to be attacked by the monocultural black community. But what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.